Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be going through a bit of a unique unboxing, in that the unboxing is for I believe the suit is called the Canon Shadow, and whilst it's not from a series, this has been manufactured by Soul Vogue, who actually I thought was the mini-series that it came from. And this particular kit was released in the early part of 2023. Now I did get this kit and several others of these quote-unquote shadow suits from Hobbylink Japan. I'll include a link, but the caveat is this kit, as well as some of the others, are already on discontinued, so not too sure what that means in terms of any subsequent releases. But I would recommend at least having a look, just to get a bit more information about the kit, especially since I won't be building it just yet. Anyway, front of the box, which I also think is the same as the back of the box, for the Canon Shadow, does look like it'll have some very interesting potential. I do like the colour scheme, being a bit of a green and white suit. Does give me some Dynamy slash Cheeridum vibes, which is cool. It'll be very interesting to see. So that's the front. And in terms of one of the sides, well, bottom I guess, we do have a front and rear shot of the Canon Shadow, as well as a bit of a posed shot as well. One of the sides of the box, very nice. It's definitely a ranged suit. In fact, that pose also reminds me a bit of the Strike Freedom. We do have a few more shots on the top of the box, some more dynamic poses, and it does look very nice. Very interested to see what some of this colouring on the kit is, because it does look like it might have some translucent parts. So I will admit some of these poses are very nice, and in fact they continue throughout the box. So the box, from a posing perspective, very nice. You do get to see what you're working with. And the top slash bottom. So that pretty much is the exact same thing, whilst everything else is different. Now, I'm not too sure what to expect, so I will open up the box and then we can have a better look at the contents. And with everything out of the packaging. From a packaging perspective, thankfully all the runners were in a bag and they all came in a box. In terms of what the runners are like, as we'll see in a minute, it prescribes from the usual Kotobukiya type of things, so multiple small runners. I didn't count how many plastic bags of runners there were, but it was enough. So here I have the front of the manual for the Canon Shadow. So we're getting very used to seeing the actual product image, but it does look very nice. And on the back of the manual we also have a shot of it from the rear. In terms of the build, so it does go through the included runners. Now, interestingly enough, there's this little insert that came in it as well, and it's referencing to the C26 piece, but I don't understand why, because it is there. So, very bizarre. In terms of the build, pretty much goes straight into it. Usual 3D images with your corresponding alphanumeric part code. What little language appears will definitely... I'm actually not sure. I want to say Japanese, but it may not be. But it looks like it should be a very fun and interesting build. Nothing looks overly complicated. And I will admit, it actually does have its own included base. So there you go. So it appears to be a very self-sufficient little kit. But time will tell. So that was the manual. As for the runners, there is a bit to go through, so let's see if I can do this and do this well. So there are two A1s, which are carbon copy of each other, both in white. Detailing on them isn't too bad. They're not super duper detailed, but there's definitely enough detailing there to make use of some panel lining. So that's A1 and A2. There's also, sorry, two A1s. This is A2, which is in more of a grey. Now looking at this piece here, it does remind me of similar styled pieces that I've seen on a traditional Bandai high grade. So I do feel that this is probably a 1:144 scale kit. Well, that's me making a deduction that it is. B1 in a very nice dark green. And once again, we do have some nice details on some of these pieces. Moving through, going through the C runners, we have two C's in a standard grey. Given their colour and what these pieces look like, no doubt these are probably joints and things like that. So we get two of those, and we also have a C1 back in that green. As you can see already, they're small runners. We have an E runner back in grey. F runner in grey. We have two H1 runners in grey, and it looks like some of those larger pieces will be part of the, I think they're the forearm weapons, but definitely very nicely detailed there. No doubt we won't see most of that detailing, but the detail is there nonetheless. So two of those. We have an H2 in dark green. Some nice panel lining options there as well. H3 also in green. We have two K runners in green. Some of your larger pieces. Detailing once again is very nice, but just looking at these two pieces here, which I suspect are the actual shoulder cannons, if not the cannons. Definitely not too bad. Some detailing, but it's not too heavy, which I think is good. But it does give me a bit of a Buster Gundam vibe, especially with the green. So that's K's. We have a O runner in a translucent turquoise, I dare say. Does look very nice. So I suspect some of these will go on tips of weapons and things like that, which you could kind of tell in the images, but because they're also in black background, it was hard to see. We have the X runner, which is in black, which will have the stand. It's very nice that we get this included. A Y runner in grey, which will have your hand manipulators. And I think this is also why I thought that this is probably of a 1:144 scale, just looking at some of these hand manipulators. Yeah, they just feel like they would be of that usual scale. So we have some of those. We have two Y2s in white. And to wrap up everything, and I didn't take these ones out, we have some of these items, and they do have a little bit of heft to them, and given that some of them are also metallic, I can only imagine these are like what was I trying to say? Inner frame type pieces. Especially here, these are probably for the legs, feet, hips maybe, arms. So probably to help give some of the joints some more improved stability and strength, I dare say. But it's very nice that this is included, so I can only imagine the others will include them. And the only time I've seen something similar to this is third-party releases for various master grades. And it's interesting that we're actually seeing this, because usually we wouldn't see this for high-grade stuff. And if that is the leg, that leg is actually quite tall. I'll say that comparatively because I've got nothing to scale it against right now. It looks like it'd be a big leg. Time will tell. So that brings us to the end of the unboxing of the, what I suspect is a 1:144 Canon Shadow. Looks like it will be a very interesting kit. Doesn't look overly complicated to put together. If anything, it's probably your traditional on par with Bandai kit with some of your Kotobukiya styles with the runners and the sheer number of pieces. I honestly wouldn't mind putting this one together sooner rather than later, but the backlog is also a backlog. Be very interesting to see how well this snips out. I think that'll be a bit of a judge as to when this will be done. Now I do have the Sword Shadow quote-unquote sibling kit to also do an unboxing on, so that'll come up in the future as well. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account. Link to that is in the description below. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will have a link to the Canon Shadow at HobbyLink Japan, purely as a bit of a reference, because when I checked it was showing as a discontinued option, so you may need to look elsewhere to try and acquire this kit. With all that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.